how do you combat that attitude of people who say there's no jobs and they say they're too sick to work?
Well, I think they're living in the past. If I were to look at my life, and perhaps the first 20 or 30 years of my life, where I lived in a coal mining industry area, and one with shipbuilding and steel making, going to work was a dangerous job. Going underground was something my family made sure I didn't do, although the rest of my family had done so for many generations. And people are stuck in that mode. You know, they think of work as the place you do not go to, that you to avoid if you want to maintain your health. And that was very true. But we're talking, and I've got to speak in the context of my knowledge in the UK and Western Europe, that's changed because we now are finding more and more that actually being out of work is hazardous for your health. And when you return to work, that is reversed to a significant extent. So it would be silly to say offhand, oh well, I think that the return to work agenda is a false one, or one that's only based solely upon money. Of course it's based on money, and we're all living at a time of recession, and governments have got to save money, but it's not solely that. And when you look at what sort of jobs people return to, that's the most important thing. I do have sympathy with people who say, yes, return people to work by all means, but return them to proper jobs. I think that's right. And they certainly shouldn't be returned to dangerous jobs or toxic jobs. If they work at that job and they progress, then you can see that their health improves, their attitude to life improves, their social connections improve. And when one looks back over the years that they've been re-employed, you see that when you compare them with their peers who did not get a re-employment or enter into work, the level of mental health problems is much lower, the level of drug use, the level of suicide, they're all much lower in those that are at work. I used to be stupid. I'm not stupid anymore because my findings are based upon evidence rather than supposition. And yes, I am arrogant to some extent because I don't see anything wrong with being arrogant if you think that what you're doing is right. And what you're doing is based on sound evidence.
Yeah, if you go back a long way, doctors used to recommend people smoked because they thought it was good for breathing. The evidence came out about how bad it is. The evidence that Mansel's talking about is quite recent. You know, we're talking 5 years. And so the idea of the social welfare of taking care of people is inherent in our sort of society, and that evolution that the evidence starts to inform opinion takes time. At the time from an established fact becomes accepted norm in a community is 14 years.
Goodness.
So we've only had 5 or so years, perhaps a little bit longer actually, of this strong evidence that says actually we're doing people harm.
What general practitioners don't have is the support to help them to signpost people to interventions and to give GPs the knowledge that they need and the confidence they need to do that. Now, we've been doing that in the United Kingdom. We've been providing general practitioners with learning modules and educational modules, which have been endorsed and delivered by the Royal College of General Practitioners and the BMA, to help doctors have more confidence in understanding what the effects of work on health or health on work are, and then having the confidence to say, well, this is not within my remit, it's not within my skill set, but I do know now, because I've been given the intelligence and information, where to refer people to.